Good morning, dear student. Hope you all are doing well. Today I'm not going to teach you any topic from the chemistry syllabus. Today I am going to talk about our education systems and our academic career, and also how we can successfully jump the barrier of examination. Okay. We all know that our education system is marks oriented. Okay. So we cannot escape from this truth. Okay, so we have to get good marks, okay, to get admission for higher studies. So before going to discuss about how to get good marks in examination, let us first discuss or understand actually about the career of a student of science stream. Okay, or the opportunities which one science student can grab to become successful in India. Okay, actually, there are actually two parts. Okay, between which you can choose one, uh, via which or through which you can go after higher secondary to build your career. Okay, the first one is the basic stream, that means the basic science, in which you have to actually do BSc, or after BSc MSc, then if you want to do PhD, then you can do PhD, and after PhD also you can go for the postdoctorate degree or postdoc. Okay, it's not a degree, actually postdoc. So you can go for abroad or in India also to do the postdoc. And the second one is actually the application of the basic sciences, which are already we know that, um, the medical and engineering, basically medical and engineering. Okay, so first of all, let us discuss about the basic sciences and what is the opportunities if you do the basic sciences, or if you do the BSc or MSc or PhD, then what opportunity you can get from these courses. Okay, so let us discuss about this. So first of all, the BSc, in BSc you can do BSc in physics, you can do BSc in mathematics, chemistry, zoology, botany, or BSc IT. Okay, BSc IT means uh, actually this is actually information technology. Okay, BSc in information technology. If you do BSc and in any stream except BSc IT, okay, that means physics, mathematics, chemistry, zoology, or botany, then you are eligible for actually B.Ed. You can do B.Ed after this, and you can actually then you are eligible for uh, teaching. Okay, actually for higher secondary school or high school or even ME schools. Okay, so after doing BSc, you have to do B.Ed. Okay, then you are eligible for this teaching line. So what about BSc IT? Actually, BSc IT is actually, if you do BSc IT, then you can go to the IT sector. Okay, because this is actually about information technology, so you can go to the IT sector and do some job there. Okay, and after BSc you can do MSc in any stream. Okay, like MSc in physics, mathematics, chemistry, zoology, botany, or even MSc IT. Okay, so if you pursue this MSc in any stream, then you are eligible for the lectures in colleges. But nowadays the rule is changing. Okay, so you have to clear SLATE or NET. That means SLATE means state level eligibility test, or NET means national eligibility test. Okay, so you have to clear any one of these two to eligible for the lectureship in colleges. Okay, and also additionally, along with this SLATE or NET, one more important factor is there, which is known as API. So what is API? API is actually full form of API is academic performance indicator. So this actually indicator is related to your percentage, that percentage of your high school, higher secondary, BSc, MSc, even also PhD. Okay, not percentage of PhD. Actually, there are some marks which is coming from PhD. Okay, and also your publications, research publications, many things are there. Okay, so if you want to do job in colleges, then you have to actually have some good academic career. That means you must have good percentage in school and colleges. And also there is an exam known as GATE, GATE. Okay, so you can appear this exam after MSc, mainly MSc in chemistry, MSc in physics and geophysics also. Okay, so if you get good marks in GATE and if you have good percentage in MSc, okay, then you actually will be directly selected to a very higher rank of ONGC, okay, or even Oil India Limited, that means oil, after appearing a personal interview. Okay, so from this discussion we able to know that the good percentage is very important for this all the job oriented courses. Okay, you will be surprised, okay, to know this, that a very important area, actually the strength of our nation is depend upon this area. Okay, and this area does not depends upon good percentage. There is a cut-off mark which is actually 55%, but it does not depend a very good percentage. Okay, good percentage, it's not, this does not require good percentage actually. Okay, very good percentage. So and this area is actually known as R&D, or research and development. Actually, to become a part of this this area, you have to become a scientist. Okay, so to become a scientist, what you have to do, you must have to do PhD. Okay, so to do PhD you have to clear NET, which is actually known as National Eligibility Test. Okay, so actually the examination, National Eligibility Test, there is actually it is divided into two parts. Okay, one is JRF and other is LS. So the higher rank holders will be in the JRF part and the others are in LS. LS means lectureship. They are only eligible for teaching line. Okay, and the JRF, they can do the research, or they can do the PhD. So when you clear the JRF, then you are actually two industries are there, not industries actually, these are government funding agencies are there. One is known as CSIR and the other is UGC. Okay, actually UGC we all know, UGC, University Grant Commissions. Okay, and CSR is actually more they actually concentrate on the research part. Okay, so actually they provide if you clear the JRF, then they will going to provide you 35,000 rupees per month scholarship to do your PhD. Okay, so and after 3 years they will going to give you 37,000 rupees per month, and also they will give you some extra funding for your travel, to some academic conference, or for your some, if you buy some printer or if you buy some laptop, then also they will going to give you money for this. Okay, after PhD, if you want to pursue your research career, or if you want to become a scientist, then you can do postdoc. Okay, so you can do postdoc in India or abroad. If you do postdoc in India, then you get minimum 55,000 rupees per month, and if you do the postdoc in abroad, then it depends upon the country and also the institute. Okay, so it varies, so you can even get $2,000 per month. Okay, so it is good. Then after doing postdoc, you can come back to India, or you can be there to pursue your research career as a scientist. Okay, or even you can go into the university. That means you are eligible for the teaching in university after doing this postdoc and all. Okay, understand? So if you want to pursue your career in the basic sciences, then actually it is a very long process. Okay, so BSc 3 years, then MSc 2 years, then if you want to do PhD, then it maybe take 5 years, and then again postdoc. Okay, so it is a very long process. So it is actually a learning process. The basic science is learning process. And if you want to do some job after BSc, then you can do, and or even MSc, then it's also good. Now let us discuss about the second part. Okay, so the second part is actually the applications of basic sciences, which are actually the medical line and the engineering line. Okay, so for that we all know that we have to crack some exam. Okay, entrance examinations. So we'll discuss this later, how to actually study okay, to crack these examinations. So now let us try to understand the courses. Okay, so in medical line you have to do MBBS. Okay, so it will take 5 years. Then you have to do 3 years MD, or in some state there are two years MD. Okay, so actually the duration is total 7 or 8 years. So after 7 or 8 years you will become a doctor. Okay, so you can practice. So it will take 7 or 8 years. And in case of engineering you have to do BTech or BE. Yeah, and the duration is 4 years. Okay, so after BTech or BE you can even do MTech. Okay, MTech means Master of Technology. And after MTech you can even do PhD to pursue your research career, or for teaching in engineering college. Okay, there are actually other courses are also there, like ITI. So here I am not going to enlighten each and every courses, but I am just giving you some information about the main courses offered in science stream. Okay, so now let us discuss about how to get good percentage or good marks in in board exam, or in your entrance exam. Okay, at first let us discuss about the board exam. Okay, how to get good marks, okay, in board exam. So we know that a specific syllabus is given to you. Okay, so the question will be only come from that syllabus only. So what we have to do, we know that this is the syllabus. Okay, so the question will be come from that syllabus, so we have to try to clear the concept of each and every topics from that syllabus. Concept. Okay, concept. And mainly there are two types of students. The first one is actually they believe in parrot learning. So what is parrot learning? Parrot learning means actually they try to write the questions and answers, and they try to memorize the questions and answers. Okay, and if that question, then a specific question is coming in that exam, then only they can write that answers. Okay, but they may not write the answer if the question is molded. If the same question is in different form, then they may not write the answer. Okay, so this is the main problem. And the second one is that they try to understand the concept of a topic properly. Okay, so for that actually you have to go into the deep inside that topic. Okay, so you have to, for that what you have to do, you have to first study that topic. Okay, try to understand that topic, then try to make some notes on that topics. Okay, then you have to do maximum problems related to that topics. It may be numerical problems, it may be short type question answer problems, it may be long long type question answer problems, or it may be even objective type questions. Okay, so you have to do each and every possible things, or then only you have some idea what type of question may come from that topic or from that chapter. Understand? Then any question. Okay, any question, you can do any question. Okay, any question. If some defined question will come in exam related to that topics, if you understand that topic, okay, then you can do that. You can solve that question, or you can give answer for that question. Okay, understand? And most important thing is that you have to actually, you should prepare your notes by yourself. There are many benefits of this one. Okay, so actually to prepare the notes, you can take help. Okay, actually you can go through the videos which I have provided you, or if you don't want to go through that videos, then you can even use your NCERT books or some reference books, or if you don't like my videos, then you can even go through some other videos. Okay, so actually the most important thing is that you have to take some help from some good sources. Okay, and try to uh, write what you understand. So if you write what you understand, that means if you make some notes, okay, then the positive the positive impact of it is that the concept will going to build in your mind. Okay, when you try to write the concept or try to write what you understand, then a concept of that topic will going to build in your mind, and it is very very good for you. Okay, so try to make your notes by yourself. That's why I am not, I don't actually want to give you the notes. If I want to, I can give you notes, okay, by myself. Then what will going to happen? You are again going to become that parrot learner. Okay, so it is actually not good for you. Okay, you can get good percentage, then that's okay, no problem. Okay, then the thing is that your concept will not going to be clear then. That's why I gave you the video classes. Okay, and the thing is that after preparing the notes, you should show the notes to us to verify whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, maybe sometime the concept may be wrong. Okay, so try to validate this, or try to confirm that your concept is right concept. Okay, and you should solve at least 5 years previous years question papers. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, you have to first prepare a copy for that. Suppose chemistry, for one copy for chemistry, physics one copy, for maths other copies. Okay, so for each and every subject you have to prepare a copy only for the question and answers for previous year's question papers. Okay, so but how are you going to proceed? So you have to actually you can proceed in two ways. One way is you can solve the question answers chapter wise. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, you have to find out the all questions, all the 5 or 10 years questions which are coming from one specific subject. Okay, let's suppose aldehyde chapter, or let's suppose carboxylic acid. Okay, so you have to find out all the questions which are coming from that carboxylic acid chapter. Okay, so first write that questions and then try to solve them. Okay, this is the first way. And the second way is actually you can solve the question paper as this. That means you can solve the question paper from question number 1 to the question number last, serial wise. Okay, but I think the first one is more beneficial, or by using the first way you can actually you can get some informations about actually what type of question is coming from a specific chapter, or if a specific topics. Okay, so because you have already solved that questions from that specific topics, then you have some idea about that topics, and what type of questions were coming. Okay, in the last actually in previous 5 or 10 years. Okay, so basically you will get a very good information, and by that information you can okay, you can actually have also some idea what type of question may come in the next year also. Okay, so it is very important to solve question paper. Okay, again our memorization capacity is different for different student. Okay, so actually we can improve our memorization capacity. Okay, actually I have already told you this in your class. Okay, so again I am just repeating this because maybe some some of you maybe forgotten this. So actually when I was doing my higher secondary, actually I did my higher secondary from a government school in Sibsagar. Okay, so our respected sir, he is actually mathematics teacher. Okay, so our respected teacher, his name is actually Faisal Hussain sir. So he came to the class and he started drawing one graph. Okay, and he actually teach us how to improve our memorization skill. Okay, or how we can memorize something for our lifetime. Okay, so he draw a graph. Okay, so the y-axis represent actually the memory of a student, and the x-axis represent the time, or the year, or you can set a time or day. Okay, so when we study something, okay, then our memory is at 100%, and it will going to decrease. Okay, why decrease? Because we all know that this is the digital digital age. So we all have mobiles, all have everything. Okay, so in the mobile we have games. Okay, we have some different types of applications. Okay, so we are attracted to that, to those applications and games, because they are interesting also. Okay, so we cannot actually resist. So, and also sometimes the topics of our syllabus are not so interesting, because you think these are not interesting. Okay, but if you go to the higher study, then actually they are very interesting. Okay, so actually this memory, again coming back to this graph, so this will going to decrease. Okay, and after 1 day or 2 day it will going to become 0. Okay, so what we have to do, actually we have to repeat after actually 1 day. Okay, if you repeat after 1 day, then what will going to happen, our memory will going to again come back to the 100%. Okay, again it will going to decrease. Again, if we repeat it over, then again it will going to increase. So actually this duration, this memory, the duration of our memory is depends upon the student. Actually it will define for different student. Okay, so maybe somebody it will be only 1 hour, or maybe somebody it will be 1 day, or maybe somebody it will be 1 week. Okay, it depends upon the students, but the memorization technique is not depends upon the students. Okay, the technique is the same. So if your memory is short, okay, that means you will going to if you forget the things after 1 day, then you have to repeat before 1 day. Okay, if your memorization is good, that means, let's suppose after 7 days also you can memorize the things, then you have to memorize in between these 7 days. That means maybe 5 days. Okay, so then again it will come back to the 100%. Understand? So the main thing is that you have to repeat after a interval of time, and that interval of time is depends upon you. So you know yourself better than me. Okay, so you have to find out your time intervals. Okay, so between that time interval, that means 100% to 0%, in between that time interval, you have to actually repeat the things, then you can get the memorization. Okay, so if you repeat again and again, over and over, for suppose 1 month, 2 month, okay, then your memorization would become what? It will become a permanent memory in your mind. Okay, so you'll never forget this one, like Newton's law. Okay, so try to follow this graph. Okay, and one very important thing is the mock test. Okay, so before going to the exam, maybe before 1 week or before 2 weeks, okay, actually you should do some mock test for the subjects. Okay, and a mock test, in a mock test, what you have to do, you have to create an environment in your room, like an examination environment, and you have to find out a question paper. It may be a previous year question paper, and you have to try to solve the question paper within a 3-hour limit. Okay, so then what is the benefit of this mock test? From that mock test, you able to understand yourself how fast you have to write to finish the question paper within the 3-hour limit. Okay, and in exam, try to first write the answers of the 1 marks question. Okay, then the answers of the question which you know. Okay, and at last, what you have to do, at last you have to actually try to solve the numerical problems. So, okay, if you try to solve the numerical problems initial time, then it will consume a very large amount of time. So always try to solve the numerical problem at last. Okay, and if you 100% sure that you can solve the numerical problem, then you can even do the numerical problem in initial time also. Okay, so this is all about the your board exam. That means for board exam you have to first try to complete your syllabus. That means not try to not complete, okay, try to understand the each and every topics from your syllabus. And then what you have to do, you have to try to solve previous years question papers. It may be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, okay. If you want more percent, then more years, okay. Then what you have to do, you have to use some technique or trick to memorize your, actually to improve your memory, okay. So what about the entrance examination? Okay, so actually to crack the entrance examination, you have to clear the concept of the topics, okay, of your syllabus of the entrance examinations, okay. So for that, what you have to do, you have to go deep insight into that topics, okay. So again, you have to be intelligent, okay, you have to be smart. So in that syllabus, actually there are some chapters which are easy for you, and those there are some chapters which are tough for you, okay. So you have to actually first try to clear the concept of the easy one, then you have to move to the hard one, okay. And you have to prepare some notes, okay, by yourself, okay. And this is the first one. The second point is that you should not go for all the question, okay. So if you 100% sure that this is the answer, then only you have to go to that answer, because there is some negative marks, okay. So if you by mistake, if you give the wrong answer, then you will have negative marks, okay? So it is not good for you. So this is the second point. So you have to be smart enough, okay. And the third point is also very important. So you have to know some technique or tricks by using which you can solve some problems in less time, okay. So this is very, very important for entrance examination. It is, and this is the main difference between the board examination and entrance examination, the trick and techniques. Because in entrance examination you have to do many problems in less time, okay. So for that, what you have to do, you have to know some basic trick and technique which will reduce your time to solve a questions, okay. This is very important. And the fourth one is that which book you should follow, okay. So you have to follow some reference book, because this NCERT book is not sufficient for your entrance examination, okay. And the examples which are in the NCERT book is not sufficient. So you have to follow some reference books, okay. There are many reference books available in in market, so you can follow any book. But the thing is that some basic technique and tricks should be there, okay. And it should be updated. It should be actually if you want to appear in 2021, then it should be published in 2020, okay. Understand? Because then only there will be some questions, no, there are objective types questions, and those actually objective type questions are actually given from the previous year questions, okay. And try to solve the previous year question papers also. It will also give you some ideas what type of questions are coming in the previous year questions papers, and what type of question may come. But actually the question will never repeat in this type of entrance examination, okay. But the concept is repeating. So what you have to do, you have to actually try to clear the concept, okay. So what is let's suppose you are studying something, okay. So a topic, okay. So you have to know what is that topic, okay, why you are studying that topics, okay. Okay, understand? So how you actually we can understand the topics, okay. And what is the examples of that topics, okay. And what type of numerical problems maybe come from that topic. So you have to know everything, okay. So that's why you have to work, actually you have to work smartly, you have to work hard and smartly, okay. Actually you have to work smartly, not hard, smartly, okay. So I hope you understand the difference between this board examination and the entrance examination, okay. Now at last but not least, okay, let us discuss about the time management, okay. So this is very important, because this is going to determine how much time you can invest in your study. So you have to manage your time, okay, properly, to get more benefit from your investment. Okay, here I am going to give you an example of my friends. He did his PhD from IIT. Now he is in South Korea and he is doing his postdoc. Okay, and he used to study for a very little amount of time, like 4 hours or 5 hours per day. Okay, but he get very good percentage. Okay, so one day I asked him, okay, so how you get so good marks, okay, even though you are not studying so many times. Okay, he told me with a smile face, okay, my friend, you did not notice me. Okay, last the previous 2 months I have worked hard to prepare my notes. Now only I am just repeating the notes, so it will take hardly 3 and 4 hours for me to repeat that notes. Actually, what he did, he actually uh, made some permanent memory in his mind. Okay, by following some process. Okay, actually, he prepared the note by reading some topics. First he read the topics and then write in a copy about that topic what he understood. Okay, then what he did, actually he underlined some keywords. Okay, and also some examples of that topics, and also he write if some numerical equations are there, then he also write that equation and he underline that equation. Okay, he prepare some new topics, and interestingly, in the following day he also prepared some new topics, let's suppose. Okay, then after preparing the topics again, he go back to the previous notes and he try to memorize the topics by looking at the keywords, by only investing 2 minutes to memorize the previous notes. Is not it interesting? Actually, what he did, he actually made some permanent memory during the preparation of the notes. Okay, by repeating over and over the previous notes by using just 2 minutes, just investing 2 minutes of his life. Understand? So first of all, what you have to do, actually you have to work hard to prepare that notes, and you have to actually underline the keywords. Then you have to invest your two precious 2 minutes of your life to repeat that uh, that concept or that topics. Then you will have many times, or you will get many times to uh, you know solve other problems or some numerical problems related to that topics. Then it will be very good for you. So according to me, actually time management is not only to follow a proper timetables. Okay, so we have to follow a timetable, no doubt, but along with that following the timetable, we have to know how to reduce the study time by using some proper technique. Okay, such that we get more time, extra time to invest them in that topics, but we can do some other things like some numerical problems related to that topics or some question related to that topics. Okay, then our concept will be more clear. Okay, I hope you understand what I want to tell you. Okay, and hope you can able to choose a correct path for your career, and try to be a good man. Okay, because there are many engineer, many doctors, many teachers, many peoples are here. Okay, but good peoples or good persons are very rare here. Okay, so try to be a good person, and we all know that nothing is impossible. Okay, so if you want to achieve something, then you definitely can achieve that goal. Okay, by doing some smart work, and always try to be happy. Okay, and make your mind happy actually, because mind is very powerful. Okay, it can go either way. It may go in the right direction or it may go in the wrong direction. So try to control your mind, because if your mind is good, okay, and if your health is also good, then you can achieve any goals. Okay, so thank you for your time, and God bless you. Okay.